Let me record. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to run an example alongside here, and I'm going to follow the steps on your sheet as we graph. So we'll start kind of easy. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Now remember, you've already done all the analysis for this, right? You've done the up, down, skinny, wide, average, y-intercept, vertex, all that good stuff, okay? Notes. If you want to do it here as we go, you can. All right, step 1. Identify A, B, and C. Okay, what is A? B, C. Yes or no? Okay. Look at step 2. Find and plot your vertex. We've already practiced with finding the vertex. Now we're just going to, if y'all can't see, y'all can move if you want. You can sit at my desk if you want. If you can't see, or you can push your desk here. It's a yellow chair. We just haven't plotted it. So I'm gonna find it now and plot it. All right. Vertex. Remember the X part comes first. If I'm going too fast, let me know, but I know we did this yesterday, okay? Opposite B over 2A. Yes? No? Maybe so?
To find your vertex, we just got to do what we did yesterday and find.
Yep, same thing. It's opposite B over 2A. Now, we didn't talk about this a whole lot yesterday, but I do want to focus on it a little bit today. This first thing that you found right here is also your axis of symmetry before you plug in. Okay, remember, it's that line that divides the parabola. Okay, so I got half. How do I find the other half?
Plug in.
Plug in. Plug into what?
Plug into
The x spot's in that first equation. You're absolutely right. Good job. All right, so I got -1 squared. 2 times -1 plus 1. -1 squared is 1. 2 times -1 is -2. 1 minus 2 is -1. Plus 1 is, somebody tell me. What is 1 minus 2 plus 1? Come on, guys. Zero.
What?
All right, look, guys, I need your attention. 1 minus 2 is -1. Plus 1 is 0. Okay? Use your calculator. All right. What are the coordinates of my vertex?
Is it -1 or 0?
It is. All right, so on your paper it says find and plot, because now we're graphing. We're not just analyzing, we're graphing. So on your graph, and this is why we took some time to practice graphing to remember. -1, 0. Okay, guys, I feel like I'm fighting for some of your attention. Please, there are too many people in here to carry separate conversations. Axis of symmetry, vertex. Yes? The only new part right now is we put it on a graph. Is everybody okay? All right, next step. We need to find and plot an easy point, okay? We want to use something easy to plug in for x. So as I think about what's easy, what do you think might make my life easy to put in for x? 1 or 0, something along those lines that whenever I come back and plug in here, it's going to be easy to solve for me, okay? If I pick 10, it's going to be hard. 10 to the second power and times 2 to, it's just too much. So let's pick something easy. And so I heard 1 and I heard 0. I'm going to pick 0. Okay? There's no right or wrong here. You might pick 3 and somebody else might pick 1. It doesn't matter. You just got to get that point, okay? Whatever's easiest for you. Plug it in, right? Find y. 0 to the second plus 2 times 0. You see why 0 was easy there? What does that give you? 1. 0 squared is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, and then the 1. So the coordinates of my easy point here are 0, 1. Now think about what a parabola looks like. Okay? It can go up or it can go down. This is my vertex. Okay? Axis of symmetry. So if I have my vertex and I have some random point over here, how could you find the other side? It's a geometry word.
Symmetric.
It's symmetric. So how do you find the point on the other side? It starts with an R.
Reciprocal.
Reflect. Good try. Reflect. All right. So if you look, step 5 is we're going to reflect this point. If this was a mirror, where would the point end up on the other side? That's right. What is what? Yeah, 0, 1. And now you know what a parabola is supposed to look like, so you connect the dots to make a parabola.
That's all there is
Guys,
to it.
can y'all please pay attention?
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
I thought it was already a lot harder than that.
Well, because we spent a day focusing on this part, and that's really the hard part of it.
Okay.
Let's do another, flip it over. Yep, I'll give you a second. We are going to do, this one's going down, so it's a little bit harder. But we should still be able to do it. All right, step 1. What are we going to do? Find the A, B, and C. What is A? Close. -1. What is B? What is C? Questions so far? Find and plot your vertex. Again, this is what we were doing yesterday. Opposite B. What's the opposite of B? 2. Over 2 times, what is A? -1. Come on. Yes. I'm just kind of working through. It's worked out on here also, but just so you see how we got it, I'm working. This is kind of a guided problem. Plug it in. You have to be very careful with these negative signs. And this is why this problem is on here. Exponents come first, so I'm going to square the -1. And then I'm going to do the negative one. Okay? When you've got a negative out front in the problem like this, it always forces whatever you plug in to be negative. All right, so this is going to be -1 plus 2 plus 7, which will come out to be 8.
What? Why didn't same change go in place?
Well, it did. So what happens is this is minus -2, because 2 times -1 is -2.
I mean, on like the first part, the A.
The A, because what happens when you have -1 squared, you have to do an exponent first. So -1 squared is +1, and then you do the negative on the outside. All right, easy point. I think on here I use 0. Yeah. Again, this should be the new stuff for you here is the easy point. We've been finding the vertex, now we want to find the easy point. 0 is pretty easy to use here. If you didn't use 0, that's okay. The only time you can't use 0 is if the vertex is at 0. Okay, and then you'll need to use something else. All right, let's plug it in. 2 times 0 plus 7. 0 and 0 would give me 7. And I know I'm going kind of fast through this one because this one is all the steps are written out here for you on this particular problem. So now I've got a line of symmetry. I've got a point. I just have to reflect over that line. So if that's a mirror, think about where it would be on the other side. I generally count 1, so count that many more over here. Tell me what you think about the graphing. Is it hard? Not so hard?
Is the easy point ever going to be anything other than 0?
It can be whatever you'd like it to be. If you would like for it to be 0, it can be. But it doesn't have to be. Let's do example number 2 together. And this one you will need to write down. We're going to run through the exact same steps. What do I do first? A, B, and C. What is A? Half. What does that tell me, by the way? It's going to be a wide opening up graph. How about B? 2. How about C?
0.
Ooh, what's that tell me? The y-intercept is 0. It's going to cross the y-axis at 0. All right, let's find our vertex. Opposite B, so -2 over 2a. Does that confuse anybody? You gotta speak up if it does. 2 times a half is what? 1. So -2 over 1 is -2. Do I need to slow down a little bit? Y'all okay? Are y'all even awake at this point?
I'm sleeping.
Several of you look like you're sleeping, like sitting straight up with your eyes open and asleep.
I was just dozing.
All right, let's plug in and find y. Where's David? I hadn't heard from David. Oh, you awake. All right, let's square first. -2 squared is what? What's -2 to the second power? Try one more time. +4. When you square a negative number, you get a positive number. One half times 4 is what? 2. And 2 plus -4 is? -2. What is my vertex? -2, -2. That means left 2, down 2. Let's use something different for our easy point. You can definitely use 0 if you like, but somebody asked earlier, does it always have to be 0? So let's use something else so I can show you how it works if you use something else. Because you have to know how it spreads out. So I need a point on at least one side so I can reflect it over. I know there are several teachers that make you make a T-chart and find like 6 or 7 points. I don't make you do that. 3 points is fine for me, and yeah. All right.
If you
So, like, in order to find the first point, you got to do that, and to find the second point, you got to do the process all over.
To find the second point, you just reflect it over. Because you would have you would have a vertex, and you know that that's an axis of symmetry, and then you'd have another point here. So for the other point, you would just kind of like if you folded your paper over, where would it end up over here? Reflected.
If we know the
Just wants to do that.
y-axis,
The y-intercept.
it's going to be at 0. Do we need to plot some?
That's a good point. Did y'all hear the question? If you know the y-intercept, right? The y-intercept is when x equals 0. So that's like picking 0 for your easy point. There's really not a lot of work you would have to show with that if you wanted to do that. If you wanted to say, I'm going to use my y-intercept as my easy point, I know that my y-intercept is 0, you could most definitely just do that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It sounded like.
Yeah. Just to show you, for the sake of example, I'm going to pick -1 here and show you what happens. I'm going to plug it in. 1/2 times -1 squared plus 2 times -1. -1 squared is 1. So this would give me 1/2 minus 2. I just kind of ran through the calculation itself pretty quick. Because I'm going to assume you would use that y-intercept like this because this is the easiest. But if you didn't,
I thought y-intercept was 0.
it is. This is the y-axis, and this is where y is 0. That's why there's a point there. If you didn't, you would have -1, -1.5. So this is that point, -1, -1.5. So maybe you picked 0, maybe somebody else picked -1, but it doesn't matter. Your parabola at the end of the day is going to be the same. It's kind of like picking 2 different points on a line. When you connect them, you still got the same line.
Where did -1 come from?
I just picked a point. I picked an easy point. Pick something easy. I'm going to reflect this over and connect it to look like a parabola. Notice how much wider that one's getting because of that 1/2.